everything good is uphill. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So everything worthwhile also is uphill. John C. Maxwell, my favorite author. Today we're going to get into 5 massive, incredibly famous failures that very, very popular and famous people had, and how they stuck to their base. They realized this is where we are, this is where we need to go, these are the challenges, and how they actually persevered into that version of themselves to attain that success, to go and reach up and get it. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Well, I'm ready.
As always, Anna-Marie and Ed, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, and let's have some fun. Team, I'm going to play a little game. I'm going to shoot out a name. You go first, and tell me the first thought that comes into your mind when I call out the name. Steve Jobs.
Yay, Mr. Boss. That man started business in a garage, first $1 trillion company, 4,000 employees. It's unbelievable to think that you started from nothing. If someone is thinking it's difficult to start a business out there, this is a story you want to follow, definitely.
And he doubled that because the company is worth $2 trillion now.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, we all know Apple, and I think the reason that he got fired is maybe the part that inspired him to make it worth.
It's just a sign. Difficult times are there to teach you something. It's not for you to give up. That's just where you're getting started.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, I want to challenge the conversation. And at the point when he got fired, do you think it was a deserving fire, taking into consideration the way he was acting? Because he was generally not a nice person to everyone, and he was pushing the company so hard. The company was breaking at every single point, and he almost created at that stage of his life a toxic environment.
Yeah.
Was it a fair decision by the board?
It had to be done. It had to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then came the comeback from his side and a better person.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He went into a couple of things, and one of them was Pixar. So he went and he worked on projects with extremely creative people that were not confined by a boundary of you have to do things this way. And I think it gave him the opportunity to find out who he really is and what he wants to do with that company.
Yeah, got involved with Walt Disney.
Yeah, 100%. With Bob Iger, they had a
Started a
deal.
new company.
With each and every situation, sometimes all you have to do is to take a few steps back, observe from the outside, and when you come back in, you're definitely more even stronger and better.
And that's most probably the most difficult thing, is sometimes to take that step back yourself. Because if you're not going to do it, someone is going to force you to take that step back.
Your ego is always standing in the way.
So long as the option is never to give up.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So I think, coming back into the company, new perspective, clear vision. He also had the experience to obviously have a look what's the new technology coming out, come in, deploy it. I mean, he stole the idea of the mouse, but he had the business mind to exactly know where to deploy it so that it's effective. But my opinion is the best thing that he could ever do is leave Steve Cook as his predecessor, because as much as Steve Cook is a CEO, and in my opinion the best CEO who ever lived, right up there, I don't think there's anyone as dynamic and as relevant for as long that he's been CEO. But to make a choice like picking him and saying, you're going to take the company further, because he grew the company 10x bigger than what it was when Steve Jobs was the CEO. But do you think without the pioneering and without the barbarian that Steve Jobs was, Apple would have been this?
No, not at all.
He set a good framework. So maybe the personality type didn't work, whatever the reasons, but he set a great framework, and whoever's going to take over is going to make a success.
Yes and no, because if you set a great framework, but you put somebody in there that doesn't share the vision, in a
I
way that he
agree,
wants to
yes.
expand the vision. Because if we have a shared vision, I don't think Steve Jobs would have realized $2 trillion, first trillion company, and as many employees. I mean, it's a household product. But I think his wherewithal to understand that the person that needs to take over shouldn't be a barbarian like me to go out there and conquer. He should be an administrative person that's a CEO. And I think that's magical.
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome. Very nice story. Okay, are you ready for the second name?
Yeah, let's shoot.
Let's do it. Okay, similar industry. I don't think as adverse background, but also shares a lot of common traits with Steve Jobs, rather. Bill Gates.
Microsoft.
Yeah, to think this guy was a dropout at some stage in his life. I mean, most people that have dropped out, right there and there, that's almost the end of everything. Now, to see a guy pick up from that and ending up a president one day, that shows you there's no limit. There's no limit. I mean, if you live up to your potential, you can be anything you want to be.
But I think he had passion.
Yeah.
With him, definitely. It was passion taking him to the next level.
I think failures, I've read up a lot about him, and failures come in a lot of shapes and sizes when you create a monopoly, because that's what he had. I mean, there's no company that didn't sue him. The government sued. Everybody was against him because he monopolized an industry. But to be such a visionary at that young age, youngest self-made billionaire.
At the age of 31, I think.
100%. 100%. To ever achieve it, self-made. I think the failures that he went through was just fuel for him. It was like, give me more.
Just reading through his life story, there's nothing that I appreciate now more than challenges. Because from that story, I understand now that the challenges are just there to shape me up for the destination. So
100%.
They're much needed. Eh?
And I want to ask a question. If you take the processing power of Bill Gates today, love him or hate him, lots of people don't like him. Doesn't matter. I don't use Microsoft. I like Apple products because it's the way that I'm wired. But love him or hate him, leave that aside. Do you think if you take all his money away, but you leave the processing power in his mind, does he become filthy rich in no time, in your opinion?
I mean, if you failed and managed to do it, you can do it over and over and over again. So there's nothing special that I think he has more than just the willingness to always achieve. And that's all it takes. Once you have that will, you can do whatever you want.
Very high
Yeah,
standards.
the willing and the passion for programming
Yeah.
that take him to that level.
Albert Einstein. What's the first thing that comes up?
Yeah, so I'm thinking the young age, primary school, this is where character is built. And obviously, not being able to speak fluently at a very young age.
Up to 9, I believe.
Yes.
Up to 9 years old, he couldn't speak properly.
Could have been discouraging for many people.
Yeah, but Einstein is still a word synonymous with genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was just an amazing person. And up till today, I think that's the one, almost a household name that everyone knows.
100%. 100%. So, having failure at school in a field where I think when it comes to mathematics, science, where he excelled so much, but having failed at school initially just shows you that he was on a path, but he was right next to the path he should have been, but just this side of the correct path. So he kept on failing because he wasn't doing what he was enjoying. Boom! The moment that he started enjoying it and he started overcoming that adversity, I mean, it's a household name. He has, in my opinion, affected more technology and the way that humans think and communicate with each other, and some of the inventions, some of the stuff we're holding and we're using every day. He's had a larger effect than anyone else. I agree with you.
Definitely.
Agree with you.
But that, to me, failure and success is one of those things. If you find your niche, you've got to find your why, and then the failure, you're happy with that, because you need to be content with that. You need to be happy to say, I've tried, I've failed, I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail again, over and over. As long as that is your niche. Because people give up because it wasn't to their liking. It wasn't something they enjoyed. He found what he enjoyed.
Yeah, what makes the present the best time to be alive is that we have all these life stories to read from. And
learn from them.
Today we know what it took for most of those that made it to get to where they are. So if you feel like you're down, you're about to give up, there's just quite a lot of success stories that you can read out there.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we're touching on this subject because
Absolutely,
I know it's needed for so many.
Absolutely. A lot of people are stuck and feel like, yes, this is the worst thing that could happen to me. People have had it much worse, and they've persevered, they have fallen back to their base, and then they've just grown and reached up at their potential.
But even for our kids that leaving school now, there's a new masses of kids left school just now, and they need to start a job. So don't feel rejected. Don't run away. You've got to just push through, and that failure will turn into success.
They're just getting started.
Yeah, your life just started. Like, it's not if you come out of school and 10 years later, your life's still just starting.
Yeah,
You're still young. Yeah, you're still young. So awesome. Okay, next person, Abraham Lincoln.
Sure. I just need to check if I still have the years right.
I'll guide you.
18th.
1831, failing in business in 1831, suffered a nervous breakdown. 1836, defeated in his run for presidency in 1856. So, I mean, geez, like he went on a bad run.
I mean, I can count up to 10 names that I know, people that would have already tooled down from the second failure.
Nervous breakdown, and then he gets up, and then he gets defeated, and then he gets elected finally in 1861 as the 16th president of the United States. So he became the ruler of the free world after he lost his business. He had a nervous breakdown, and he was defeated. And then
Most people by then would have given up.
I think 99.9999999% of people would have given up.
Then he got assassinated 4 years later, I think.
Yeah.
But he reached his goal.
He reached his goal, 100%.
Yes, he did.
Okay, one of my favorite people on the planet. I love his story, and I love his story because he is an absolute lion, alpha male wherever he goes. Michael Jordan, what do you think?
Sure, everyone is thinking of the colorful side of his story, world champ. However, to think he has missed 26 match-deciding shots
that were entrusted to him.
Yeah, he had missed 9,000 shots in his life.
9,000 shots in his career.
In his whole career, and
jeez.
Yeah.
I think the thing that stand out the most for me about Michael Jordan is the fact that at school level or younger years, they never even thought about him as being a player because he was just not tall enough.
Yeah, he was too short to make the teams. Yeah.
I think he found what he loved, and he just kept on going. So he did it he got motivated for a different reason, only for his self-happiness.
Yeah. So there's a beautiful story, and it's a true story. He's a college coach that didn't pick him. He invited him to the MVP award when he was in the NBA, to the most valuable player award. He invited the coach, and the coach came, and he said to the coach, the reason why you're here, do you know why you're here? He says, no, I've got no idea. He said, the reason why you're here is because I outworked everybody. I didn't have the talent, but you didn't see the drive in me. Yeah. And I just flat out outworked everybody else. So that's why you're here, to see that I saw in me what you didn't. But what you saw in me wasn't important. What I saw in me was important, and there's the result.
But this is one amazing message to all the kids out there.
Yeah.
Well, not only kids, but everyone or anyone trying to stand up from having a difficult time in their life. Believe in yourself, because what you see, and there's a lot of kids on school nowadays that obviously didn't get the marks. Yeah. Teachers thought they're going to be dropouts, and you can still turn it around. You can still make it work. Look at that story. That's amazing.
Someone out there is surely thinking right now, I've tried I've tried 6 times, 4 times, 5 times, and you look up to the stars and you want to ask their life story. They've tried over thousands and thousands of times. So if you think you have tried, I think it's about time to get started.
I've tried dancing, and you know what? That's the one thing I'm going to give up on. So the dancing is out for me.
Yeah,
We all know that.
I just want to run past the like my favorite quotes, or our favorite quotes rather, of each and every individual. So the first one, Steve Jobs said, I didn't see it then, but it turned out that, me getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could ever happen to me. Makes sense. Now it seems true, but back then it should have been devastating. He got fired from his own company.
Because he didn't sit in a corner and cry about it. He charged his losses to the game.
100%. Bill Gates, it's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. So what am I learning from failing? It's okay to, yay, we had a big win. But what am I learning from the failures? I love it. Albert Einstein, just because you haven't achieved anything great yet doesn't mean you can't be an Einstein yourself. What a beautiful, beautiful quote. Abe Lincoln, the amount of rejection you receive is not a defining factor. Success is still within your reach. And then Michael Jordan, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over and over in my life. And that's why I'm successful. Yeah. That one gave me goosebumps. That's why I'm successful.
We discussed off air. We discussed Van Gogh. How do you say it? How do you pronounce it? Van Gogh.
Yes.
Whichever way. And he had the best about the painting. Where he said, if someone tells you that you can't paint,
you have to paint.
So I think you've got that quote with you. You need to read it out for us because that was amazing.
100%. If you hear a voice within you say you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced.
That is the most perfect ever that I've
100%.
heard.
So if you hear someone saying to you, you cannot do something, just do it, and that voice,
They disappear.
it's gone.
Whoever proved them wrong.
I want to share a last story with the audience. A very wise king decides to test the people, and he puts a massive boulder in the middle of the road. And all the rich merchants and all the people that are coming in and out of his city just walk around, and eventually they start complaining about this boulder. Like, the king doesn't look after this kingdom properly. He doesn't look after the roads. Soon enough, a farmer carrying vegetables that he went and picked off the land walks, and he sees this big boulder. He puts down the vegetables and he starts pushing this big boulder himself on his own. Eventually, after struggling for a long time, he pushes the boulder out of the road, and underneath lies a pot of gold and a message from the king. And the message says, this gold is deserving only to the person who is willing to suffer and struggle through the pain of helping the community. There you go. So the more money you want to make, the more people you should help.
It's amazing.
For sure.
Awesome. So, everyone, if you enjoyed this topic, if you enjoyed diving into the lives of some of the most famous people that we've ever had the opportunity to know about in the modern age, please hit the like button as well as
Subscribe to our channel.
And ring the bell.
thank you very much, and take care, everybody. Thank you, team.